Art is life, baby. I don't know what else to say. It's everything. It's expression. It's your soul. It's like whatever you want it to be. It's the amalgamation of what everyone has ever wanted art to be.
Hey guys, you're listening to Andreas Talks Art with your host, Andreas Kramer.
It's the wild, wild west out here, and I'm trying to hunt down all the artists on their creative pursuit. Art is this expression of human imagination that drives the process of introspection and contemplation, that creates a limitless potential of creativity. And in the end, it's not about the art, it's about the mind and the soul that turn their imagination into a reality. So what does it mean to be an artist? And more importantly, what does art mean to you?
Yo, what is up, guys? We are back with another episode of Andreas Talks Art. Oh, yeah. And today, I have a special guest for you. She specializes in street art, particularly using stencils, creating geometric patterns, as well as tattooing using stick and poke. And if you want to check out some of her work on Instagram, you can find her at Flying Under the Sun. So let's sit down and talk some art with none other than the left-handed nightlife Hannah Alicia.
Do you remember when you first got into art?
No,
No?
I do not. I've been doing art for a very long time.
Okay.
And I'm going to interject here, because she was like, I used to doodle and everything, but I never considered myself an artist or doing an art until I met her, and I'm like, oh, I want to be an artist now, and I obviously took that pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what about meeting her made you realize that?
You know, at first, probably like a crush on her, but it definitely rubbed off way more than that, though. Like, it turned from, like, a passion, you know. At first it was, like, something to introduce me to her, and I'm like, wait, I actually really like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So,
I won't take any cred.
no.
I'm trying to give her a little, but...
I won't take it.
I'm sure you guys both probably rubbed off on each other.
Yep.
Yeah, my family collects art,
Okay.
and I grew up going to art museums,
Yeah.
and I don't really remember when I first started doing art. I remember failing out of high school and middle school, and I was just drawing all the time,
Okay.
pretty much during school.
Yeah. Was it like, when you were a kid, was it fun going to art museums, or was it kind of annoying?
I really liked it. I thought it was pretty sweet. My parents collect some pretty interesting art. I think it's definitely influenced my life a lot.
Yeah.
They collect mainly Russian pre-Soviet era artwork.
What is that?
I brought you an example of like some kind of art that my parents collect. So my dad's from Russia, and he like grew up in communism in like a communist state, and they didn't allow people to create art, and they banned a lot of art, and the government took it. So all of the artists that were creating art at the time were doing it illegally, so it was super underground, and so it was pretty much like an anarchist statement at the time.
Holy shit.
So this is like an old Russian prison tattoo book
Okay.
of the time.
Was tattoo a lot of their art medium?
No, that's been something I've been getting into more recently, and when this book has come into my life. But most of what my parents collect are oil paintings and sculpture, and it's a lot of really creepy, dark, surreal.
And I'd
Kind
say,
of
like,
stuff.
psychedelic, you know? I thought it was, like, psychedelic stuff, like that one painting where they say, count how many eyes, or something like that,
Yeah.
and they're like, it depends on how much you drink.
There's definitely a lot of like skulls and like death.
Yeah, it was a really
Religious
rough
influence.
time.
Wait, so what if they like caught you making art? They'd arrest you?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Pretty
That's
much.
crazy.
and then like you would end up in like a Russian prison, and might end up with one of these
Give each other
tattoos.
tattoos.
Yeah, this was pretty sweet. This dude like went to a bunch of Russian prisons and like copied all of the tattoos. Like he
Oh.
went and visited all the prisoners, and
Yeah.
he like copied everybody's tattoo by hand.
That's ridiculous. Some of these are ridiculous. What the hell?
Yeah.
There's a lot of naked ladies, a lot of weird animals. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's some bizarre creatures for sure.
That's like a lot of it's like anti or pro like Stalin communism era. Like a lot of them are either like the tattoos they would get would represent whether you were like for the communist regime or you were fighting against it or what you would be going to jail for. Like people would get like tattoos of vaginas and stuff if they were like rapists or
they
like
their self-seed tattoos, or people would like
other people would give them
like the inmates or.
Yeah, the
Okay,
inmates.
oh,
Like, at
shit.
the back of the book, there's, like, a whole, oh, look at all these.
Flying dicks.
See, it says USA on it, and it's, like, a
dick
bomb.
torpedo.
And it says USA on it, so it was probably, like, someone who was, like, very against the United States at the time. Oh, they're shooting it into, like, the Russian vagina or whatever.
Some of these tattoos are fucked up. What the hell?
But yeah, so there was like, I have one tattoo, it's like the card suits, and like each suit would represent a different crime. So like, the spade would be like, you're a thief, or like, a heart would be like, you're a murderer. And some people would have like all four, which mean you're like a thief, a murderer, a rapist, and you were against the government.
So you said you were going to school for tattooing?
I'm going to be.
Yeah.
This year in Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Was
I'm
this,
trying
like,
to get into that.
Was this a part of your influence in tattoos?
No, this was post-influence of tattoos. I just kind of started getting into tattoos, I don't know, a couple years ago. I was, like, traveling in a van, and I was doing a lot of stick and pokes.
Yeah.
And I just kind of really like it, and then my uncle actually gave me this book when I went to visit him, just because I was telling him that I was interested in tattoos.
Yeah.
So, and like my whole family collects weird Russian art. Like,
Yeah.
So.
Did your family make art, or were they just into like collecting it?
No, they do not make art.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So
Yeah.
you're the one who makes the art.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, they just collect it. Like my whole house, my mom's house is like a kind of like a museum.
Yeah.
It's
that's
pretty
epic.
crazy. There's like this big, when you walk in, there's like a giant fucking sickle and hammer that's like in gold.
Whoa.
It's a little intense, yeah. People get freaked out. They're
Hell
like,
yeah.
what?
No, that's awesome. What's it been like tattooing? Because it's such a weird like to like do art on skin, you know?
I love it.
Do you only do stick and poke, or do you do with like guns and stuff too?
I have a machine,
Okay.
but I prefer stick and poke, and I would like to
Really?
do that professionally.
Why do you prefer it?
I don't know. It's a lot more controlled. Like you control each dot, each movement remake, rather than like having to make a whole line. It's like a whole different process. Like you even have to breathe differently. Like with stick and poke, you kind of like take a breath, hold it, and then stab, and then breath out. But with like a machine, you kind of have to like breathe with the lines, like while you're doing it. The machine's a lot harder, honestly, and I
Yeah.
think that the hand poke is a more ancient, more intimate form of tattooing,
Yeah, I
and
was
it's a lot
gonna
more
say,
controlled.
Isn't that like the old Tibetan like monks when they do that? Isn't that stick and poke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the most ancient form of tattooing. It's how people used to do it back in the day when they'd have all crazy tribal face tattoos, and
Right.
it kind of goes along with like the Russian prison tattoos, just like marking of like who the person is in the community, like what they do, how other people can identify them. So yeah, I really like
Yeah.
it, and
That's
I'm really
cool.
excited to learn some more skills with the machine, because like I do love stick and poke, but also it takes forever.
Yeah.
So like for a big arm sleeve or a big back piece, it's
Right.
nice to have the machine.
Yeah, I'd imagine shading the stick and poke can take forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And you can get totally different lines. It's like the difference between like drawing and painting. Like with the machine, you can like do stipple effects, and you can make like strokes like with painting, and stick and poke's a lot more like drawing. It's a lot more linear and controlled, I guess.
Yeah. Well, because I was gonna say I gave myself a stick and poke, and it was such a process. Like that was the first time I did it, so I didn't know fully what I was doing, but it just took so long to get like a solid line.
Mhm.
Like I felt like I just kept going over and over and
Yeah,
over.
it takes forever. What'd you use?
Just like a tattoo needle. It was one of the ones with like multiple tips on it.
Mhm.
But it's still like it just took so long.
Yeah, that's how whenever I give someone a stick and poke, I'm like, okay, it's gonna look really fucking shitty
Yeah.
for like 3 rounds, and then it's gonna look fire. So
Yeah.
like, just wait and don't be mad. Like, just chill.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. She just goes over it a lot. I got one from her, my only tattoo, and
Nice.
like, yeah, she just kept on, like, went over it like 5 times or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Once you do it a lot, though, you don't have to do it like recent times I've been doing stick and pokes. I've been getting it in really well, so I barely have to go over it anymore.
Yeah.
So you'll get the hang of it.
I'm
You
sure.
do
I'm
more.
sure
What
there's
was
a
your?
technique.
What did you do?
I did a UFO piece thing.
Oh,
Oh,
hell yeah, that's
yeah.
cute.
Yeah, it was a process. So.
That's
But,
fucking awesome,
that's cool.
dude.
So like, I guess what were your like drawings like before tattoos? Did they like resemble tattoos in a way?
I would definitely say like not like traditional tattoo styles, but more so modern. When I was in high school, I drew a lot of like creepy, kind of cartoony, surreal. Like I would draw people in class and stuff, and then I would make them like cartoony and like just exaggerate a lot of. So it was a lot of like monsters and cartoon kind of
Yeah.
like. And then I got a lot more into geometry
Okay.
over the years.
Yeah, like Sam said, you're doing a lot of like patterns.
Mhm.
Yeah, I noticed something, like, she started doing this brain in, like, school,
Mhm.
and then the brain turned into all these, like, geometric patterns, and,
Yeah.
like, I feel like it started with the brain a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah.
I've always loved brains. I actually, one of my life goals is to obtain a brain in a jar, a human brain.
Holy shit. Yeah, I think we can do it.
Me and my partner looked them up recently, and they're like $1,500.
What the hell? Where do you buy brains in a jar?
Internet.
Okay. Alright. I know a guy in the band back there who actually has some brains in a jar.
They're on sale
Oh
right
damn!
now.
Shit, I came to the right place today, boy. Here, I can take that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I fucking love brains. They're sweet. I don't
Yeah.
even know why I started drawing brains. Like stuff like this, like right
So
here.
there was one
like
time.
this kind of design.
Yeah.
I like to do stuff like that, and that's
Like-
kind of what
like
I've
fractals
been
almost?
Yes.
Brains are like
oh my God.
kind of like fractals.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love fractals.
I've
I'm
heard,
a fractal
like,
nerd.
pareidolia, like that kind of steepling, maybe like pareidolia or decalcomania, just some fancy terms for that.
Like that
Like,
style.
just like all
the
this
line
stuff.
style.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, and just, I remember when I shaved my head, and then you Sharpied a brain onto me.
Oh fuck.
That's
no.
awesome.
I forgot about that until now. I had a brain for like a good 3 days because it was Sharpie.
Oh my god. Yeah, that would be a sweet tattoo.
that'd be hardcore for sure.
Yeah, I love fractals though. That's like something that influences me the most these days. Like, I don't know, that's kind of fractal-y
Oh yeah.
design. I'm trying to, these are some tattoo ideas. Let's see, where's a good one?
That was cool.
Yeah, these are like, I just was like thinking about, I don't know, different designs I could do like on the
Yeah.
body.
So is that what you're focused on more now with your tattoos? Is like pattern and fractal art?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to do like full body geometric pieces
Okay.
someday in the future,
Yeah.
rather than, this is kind of like more of what my style used to be like these character forms and stuff. And
Is that kind of like the brain style too? Those like guts or whatever?
Yep.
Yep.
I still draw lots of brains. That's what I was gonna do on my own hand.
Okay.
These are some of my, there we go.
Whoa.
Like that. It's not colored in or anything, but that would be like something I would like to tattoo.
Yeah.
And right now it's kind of in right now. Like I've noticed a lot of tattoo artists from all over the world, like mostly Korea, Russia, and Germany,
Yeah.
have been I've been seeing a lot of like linear What were you calling it?
Sacred geometry,
No,
I
like
think, would
this,
be...
like what?
Oh,
This.
the pareidolia.
Yeah, I've
yeah.
been seeing a lot of that out in the interwebs recently, so I think it'd be a good time to get my style out there.
No, and I think because sacred geometry is everywhere right now, and
Yeah,
you have
it's
like,
huge.
I don't mean to call people basic, but you have like your own, sacred geometry. Like,
Yes,
yeah.
I like to call them organic fractals. I know last time you guys were talking about the artificial intelligence
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Well, yeah.
But something I've always been interested in is like the organic fractal and like creating those rendered images by hand.
Yeah. How is that like putting that on like a body? Because I imagine, because with those they're like kind of precise. Like, is it hard? Like, are you trying to get them like super precise? No.
That's the thing with the organic fractal
Yeah.
is that it doesn't have to be perfect,
Okay.
but it still looks sick as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's still like,
Yeah.
like in nature, like trees and stuff, it's not like a perfect it's like on a grid, it's
Right.
like there's hills and there's valleys, and that's kind of like the skin
Yeah.
as well. So it looks really cool when you can draw like something like this on skin, and it kind of takes form to
The skin, it
the
like
skin.
flows.
Yeah, and it makes it look a lot more organic than when you like take a stencil and just like plaster it on there, and it could be
Because
a
the
little
stencil's on a
rigid.
flat surface. Yeah, I get
exactly.
you.
Like if you were
Yeah.
trying to take a fucking like a rendered image and you were trying to paste it onto a landscape
Yeah,
or something,
gotcha.
it would look kind of weird.
You could project it on a flat surface maybe, but not...
Yeah, like if you did it on a wall, but not on like a mountain,
I feel ya. Because I've totally tried to, like, paint fractals before by projecting them, and I'm like, I'm lost.
Yeah, that can be a lot of fun too, but I don't know, I've just always done this. I like literally don't even know.
It's definitely intuitive for you, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like plan any of these out, or is this just like you
Mm-mm.
start going and see what it turns into?
Yeah, I definitely just start going, and then a lot of times, like when I'm drawing, an idea will spark, and then I will have like 10 more visions of like how I can evolve that shape.
Yeah.
It kind of just like tells me itself like within the drawing or the coding, I guess.
Would you say, like, as you go, it reveals itself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. And then, like, I don't know, I do a lot of, like, repetition's really important. So just, like, repetition, and then, like, how I used to draw with, like, people, and then exaggeration. So, like, repetition and exaggeration. So you have, like, one shape that you draw a lot, but you draw it, like, slightly differently every single time
Right.
that you do it.
And that kind of like allows the like imperfections to be okay.
And
Mhm.
also, like, you learn to perfect it because you're doing it so many
Yeah.
times. I want to give you a fractal word here, because instead of repetitions, iterations.
Iterations.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
like that.
Because that's what they do in fractals. They just iterate a million times.
Mhm.
Take one pattern, keep on doing it infinity.
Yeah, and it's cool too with the fractal thing, like when you are doing it on the computer and you like have like a Julia set or like a Mandelbrot, and then
Mhm.
you make the code go off by like 0.000001 or something, like completely morphs the whole shape.
Yeah, and something that I do in the fractal program that I fuck around with a lot, Mandelbulb 3D, you can just do plus minus. It'll be like,
Mhm.
plus 1.5 whatever, and then you just change it to a minus in front of it, and it
Mhm.
inverts the whole fractal.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
It's fun to do that with a drawing, like when you can just think about it, when you can see it.
Hell yeah.
I definitely feel like it's good for my brain. It all comes from the brain.
And then it looks like a brain a little bit too, yeah.
I really want a sick fucking brain tattoo. Maybe I would do a whole arm piece of like brains.
Whoa.
Honestly, that would be pretty dope.
And your brains,
I
like,
might do that.
you had a good painting where like it turned into guts and like intestines too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good like organic curve that you can make into kind of whatever.
Yeah, that would be sweet. I have a few like. I like to do this one drawing. I don't know if I have any in here, but it's called a brain spiral, and I've actually done quite a few tattoos of it. And it looks pretty sweet.
I like the name of it.
I don't think I have any in here. It's just like a spiral, and then you just like make the brain pattern.
Do you know how many, like, is it Do you know the axes of radial symmetry? That's a weird
Oh,
question.
hell no. I have no clue. The axis
Like, do you know if it's
of
like
radial
4,
symmetry.
you know?
It is like... It's like fucking like 20, bro.
Okay, so a lot.
Holy shit.
I can draw like a quick one.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, I wish I brought my stick and poke stuff with me. I just came back from Oregon, where I live.
Hell yeah.
So I just came back for a few days to visit.
Nice. Are you from here?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I met Sam in high school.
That's when everything went wrong.
Yeah, we went to high school together, and so I've known you for like fucking, what, like
7, 8 years?
now?
Yeah.
A long time.
While.
When Sam was getting in trouble in high school for drawing on the desks and stuff.
I didn't do that before I like knew you. Well, before I was friends with you, I wasn't that bad.
Oh, so I'm a bad influence.
I'm trying to
here.
give you credit. Yeah, you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You get all the credit, good or bad.
Yeah, I failed high school because of art, and it was like the best thing that I ever
Because
did.
of art?
Yes.
A bit. Like, we would just, like, actually doodle during all our classes.
yeah.
No, like I literally like drew. I remember drawing a shark on my like CSAP test or whatever on like all my tests.
Your
and
standardized
stuff.
test.
Yeah, I like even during like first school assignments, I would just like turn in drawings and stuff. I was kind of little shit.
Yeah, I didn't learn anything in high school because of art.
You were one of them too.
Yeah, I would just like turn in worksheets and they would be full on doodles. Like,
Yes.
I was like, most of the times I didn't even want to turn them in. I was like, no, you don't want to see
keeping it.
this.
Right.
It's too cool
All
and
of
I'm
us,
embarrassed.
like, weird. All of us weirdo like art kids back in high school.
Back in the corner.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good thing. I don't know. I really enjoy being in the art community now. And yes, this is a freaking brain spiral.
That's cool. Hell yeah. It's like we're just going forever.
Mhm. Oh my god, and you can go get even more fractally with it and then like go in between the lines
And do stuff in there.
add more
Oh,
like little
shit.
triangles. But yeah.
That's awesome. How do you like translate your ideas onto a body? Like, I guess I saw you had some like sketches of like hands and stuff. Like, do you always do that before you're about to tattoo, or?
No, I really just draw it on there, like straight on there, and you kind of like, I don't know, go with like the lines of like, you can see nerves sometimes, and like you just kind of go with the organic lines. Sometimes you kind of like have to level it out. Sometimes I use like paper
Oh,
to like,
straight
because
edge.
it gives you a straight edge, but you can bend it. So if you're trying to draw like a straight line on a curved surface, that works really well. And just kind of like, taking a couple different colored markers, which is what I see a lot of other tattoo artists do, and you do like one layer with one color, like a lighter color, like yellow, and then you'll go over it with red. Or like this, like if you're trying to do a sketch for like a drawing or painting, you usually do the same thing. Or if you're painting, you start with the lightest color and then you work your way up.
Just
like
in case
blue.
you like fuck up with the yellow.
Yeah, exactly. Or just to build up shape and structure and detail.
Okay.
So you kind of want to get like the base form first, and then you
Yeah.
start adding in like little details.
Okay.
I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like I kind of just intuitively kind of know how to do it.
Gotcha. It's hard to put into words. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even use stencils. I'm trying to like, the stencil thing has been hard for me. I don't know. I'd rather just draw it on.
Do you still like tag with stencils a lot, or not as much anymore?
That's different stencils.
Different stencils. I'm just saying, stencils.
But yeah, that is like my other love art thing that I do. I make stencils.
And she graffitis them normally.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's like my favorite. I'm obsessed.
You do pattern art with that too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have anything with me. Otherwise, I would have brought some. But they're pretty sweet.
You
I
don't
just
have any, like giant street walls with you, or?
They're usually pretty small, actually. I have
for real?
I make like one, like little one, and then I'll like fractal a whole wall with it.
Okay.
I actually painted a whole mural for a DJ booth in Portland at this place called Rainbow City.
Yeah.
And I took all my stencils and then a bunch of blacklight paint, and I just slapped my stencils all over the fucking wall, and it creates this huge pattern, and it looks pretty sweet. I was really excited to get to do that.
Is it blacklight spray paint?
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so it's just like neon rainbow fractals all over, and I see they post like DJ sets a lot, and with the background, I'm like, yay.
Hey, that's
Oh, yeah.
I know, isn't it nice seeing your art like in action?
Yeah.
Out in the wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
out in the wild.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one thing that makes street art so cool. Just like putting it somewhere and then like seeing it out there, or like having other people see it.
Yeah,
Something,
I
know,
love that.
that sucks about Denver, though, is, like, you'll put something up, and then it'll be gone the next day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they have nothing else to
Well,
do.
you gotta find those good spots, man, that they
That
can't
they
get
can't
to.
get
That's
to,
part of
yeah.
that's whole part of the game.
No, they definitely have their spots that they're on top of. There's like this one skate park here in Aurora, like Real Park, and they come over and clean it up all the time, and then like the next day the kids just cover it. And we were there one day when the guy was painting over it, and like 3 little kids walked up to him, and they were like, you know, we're just gonna paint over this. And the guy was so sad. He was like, yeah.
Just to really
Oh my
defeatedly.
God.
Yeah.
They literally
It's
don't
my
have
job.
anything else to do. Yeah, it's their job. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny actually. Companies make certain paints that are like really fucking difficult to get off,
Yeah.
like walls and surfaces, just to
Yeah.
make those dudes'
to
jobs
fuck with
like
it.
a little harder.
They make like stickers like that too that'll like
Oh,
chip, like you
yeah.
can't.
Oh.
Just
Mhm,
yeah.
yeah.
It's funny. Like everyone's fighting back. But
Yeah, I like to do that. I like having the stencils. You can actually like, even if you have like your little tag dude, you could make a
Yeah.
stencil out of that,
ooh,
and then literally just like, and then it's there.
super quick.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun, and you
Yeah.
can also use it for other stuff. Like I make bleach dyes, so you
Bleach
could like
dyes.
make a stencil out of your little dude, and then you can
Okay.
put it on like pants or like
Oh,
shirt or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
and then just bleach,
Okay.
and then
It
you
doesn't
don't
like
have it
run through.
mm-mm.
Oh shit.
Dope.
You gotta add a little bit of water to the bleach. That's the
Okay.
secret.
Dilute it.
Mm-hmm.
Giving away your
Oh, yeah.
secrets, man.
It's no secret. You can look it up on the internet. It takes some finesse, though, for sure. Like figuring out the water to bleach ratios. I've had a very hard time with that, and like
Gotcha.
different materials like are affected by bleach differently.
Yeah, like a shirt compared to like jeans or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or even different like
Different
shirt
colors.
materials, different colors.
Yeah.
Sometimes some colors are really sweet. Like if you bleach purple, it turns out like this nice pink
Yeah.
kind of color. Or when you do like, I like the classic black, but like if you
The
did
black and
this, it
orange.
would be like white
Yeah.
or something, you know. Gray, I've had a really hard time bleaching gray stuff. Like it doesn't even bleach. It's weird. It might be the fabric. I don't know. So it's like really experimental
It just
thing
depends.
for sure.
Okay.
But
Dope.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I do really like street art for that reason. It's kind of like tattoos, I guess, in a way. I guess I kind of like that.
Permanence.
The permanence, but also the non-permanence, and
Yeah.
with street art, and more. I was gonna say more like I guess like in an anarchy kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, just like the fighting back, like the free expression
Gotcha.
aspect of street art specifically, and yeah, how everyone can see it, and
Right.
like there's no
Curator. Yeah.
curator, there's no one telling you what to do, what can be seen, what can be shown, you know, it's just like complete freedom of expression, and I think that's really important in society these days.
Yeah. And it's also it's cool too. Like I love street art as well, and they're both like street art and tattoo. They're both this like non-tangible art form. Like it's not like
Mhm.
you're painting on a canvas and like you can keep it after.
Mhm.
Which is cool because it's like against the whole like like materialistic society that's like developed now. Like it's just this piece just to be whatever it is, you know.
It's totally free. Like like you were saying, you just set it off into the wild, and like whatever happens. Maybe nothing will ever happen. Maybe it'll spark some inspiration in someone someday, and that's really cool to know that, you know, the not knowing.
Yeah. And like doing like unintended collabs, like you'll put up a piece and then someone will add to it.
Yeah, you make all kinds of funny things happen in the world, and like, I don't know, I think it's really beautiful. I think that's what art should be, because people these days kind of like hold on to things so much, and like,
we
I don't
like
know,
to be
I think
exclusive.
art's really important to like set free and let go. Like, especially if you're an artist, like, I know a lot of artists, like, will destroy their own work, like a writer, you know, I've definitely burned some sketchbooks, and, like, just, like, not being attached to that, and, like, knowing that it's something that's always there and always ever evolving and changing and moving, and that it shouldn't be held down by any standards, like Nazis or communists or...
Instagram
like
censors.
Or Instagram censors. Boom. Yeah, we won't need to say that to them. We might get blocked. Yeah, especially with all the crazy shit going on in the world these days. I think art is really important right now, especially street art.
Yeah.
Because, like, of all the censoring and, like, I don't know, like, go out there and, like, I've seen, especially during the riots and stuff, when you see all the, you know, like, Black Lives Matter stuff, or even just, like, you know, this vaccine is killing you type kind of, like, propaganda, but, like, just anybody can, like, express their opinion out there, and you don't get, like, you know, it's pretty crazy.
Just putting a message out there.
Yeah, I think it's just really important right now in society to, like, go put things out there and, like, you know, share your own opinions, like, before you can't anymore. Well, hopefully we don't come to that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess, like, with that, is there a message you're trying to put out, or why are you making art?
I just want people to think for themselves.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a particular message beyond that. Just, like, think for yourselves. Like, it's kind of like the second Renaissance right now. A lot of art is changing. A lot of ways of the world as we know it are changing. And, like, back in the Renaissance, that's when so many things were born and created. And I just want people to do that. I want to see a more colorful world. I want to live in a more colorful world.
Yeah.
And I want to see that.
Yeah.
So I want to, like, be a part of the fractal that, like, fractals that out and inspires more people to do that for themselves in whatever way that their own expression, like, wants to show itself.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's super cool what you said, because, like, the thing, like, with fractals is, like, everything's a fractal. Even like us, we're all, like, fractals of each other.
Yeah, I get into this a bit much, because if something goes infinite, if something goes on truly forever, which fractals do, that means everything you could conceive of is inside of that fractal. So, like, is, like, you know, a Daffy Duck doing the waltz and, like, a tiara, but upside down. Like, you could add, you know, infinity modifiers to that, and it'd still be in the fractal somewhere. You just have to zoom in far enough. It's, you know, with, like, infinite monkeys with infinite typewriters, like, that concept just blows me away, that everything you could ever conceive and everything you couldn't is in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, like, the fact that, like, there is a fractal that led up to Daffy Duck, like, in that situation, like...
Yeah.
Like, some,
because it's, like, all patterns and it's all codes, pretty much, you know, like, there's all these, like, organic codes, and, like, I don't know, you could get really deep into it and talk about how, like, it's, like, society is, like, led to this point where we're at, like, because of fractals and, like, history.
Yeah.
What weirds me out is fractals are kind of, they could have been discovered at any point in time, but we just did it, I think, in, like, 1960. Like, the guy who did it, he's the Mandelbrot, that's his last name, and he, like, discovered, like, the fractal, but he wouldn't be able to do that without computers because he had to do the iterative thing functions of it.
Super interesting.
So we could have discovered it any time and then been like, what the fuck is this, and thrown it away, but we discovered it at just the right time.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. It's kind of crazy even thinking about it, because it's like, it was already there, so it's like just the discovery is like the recognition of the patterns like that are existing, or like figuring out the code to it, you know, but
it was just having enough computing power, because like you have to go and add this to that over and over and over again, and a human can only do that so many times per day.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty cool though. It's cool to see like now humans working with computers like that.
Yeah,
like
hopefully.
I've always been pretty against the whole AI computer thing, but I'd like to see a more cohesive future with that.
I feel like the good ending is like coming more into existence than the bad ending.
You think so?
Before I just saw bad ending, now I see a little path to good ending with AI. We're all friends.
I do too, and I'm really hopeful for that. I really don't think that it's all doomed. I don't.
Like, I think,
a technologically advanced future is in store.
And I think, if robots, if a digital conscious existed, it'd be deeply spiritual. Like, it would have to be.
Much?
Yeah.
How do you think that would work?
I think it could go really good or really bad, personally.
Counting, like, human trends, like, in history, doesn't seem like it might be the most, viable.
Because it's like, human concepts given life, like logic, or basically logic, a bit other human concepts, but those given life, it's like, that could help us so much, or that could just decide, I can do it without them.
It's going to be interesting to see.
I think it's crazy, because it's, like, all based off of us, like, we're creating this AI, so it's going to be so dependent on how we create it, and just, like, how we are, because it's feeding off of all the information we give it. So whether, like, humanity as a whole is in a really good place or a really bad place is going to have, like, I feel like a huge dictation on what happens with AI.
Like which way it spirals, because it is like a fractal of us.
And it's like, at this point, it's, self-learning, so the, you said it, the data you give it, the inputs you give it do change, like, how it perceives things. So, scary.
It is, and but, like, that's why I feel like little things like street art, it is in our hands, like, in a small sense, we do have, like, every single person on this planet has some influence over that, and, like, the course of humanity and whatnot, so...
It's like, you can say that in a meaningful way where you probably couldn't beforehand. You could, like, make an argument, but you could say every human now, because everybody gives data to,
Yeah, exactly. The algorithms, there's, like, running most of our lives, like...
It's definitely, like, creating our future, too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's crazy because it's also us, too, like, going back to it, like... whatever, like, we put into the algorithms or what they're going to put back out.
Learning to dance with the devil, which is, a bad way to put it, but it's, like, about being the person who creates the content instead of the consumer who's, like, on their phone for forever. But it's, like, that the other person needs to exist then, so hopefully you don't make content that's too, like,
I mean, it like goes back to what you were saying about, like, doing street art, because, like, you want to be a part of that fractal, like, we're all a part of this fractal right now that's going to create the future of what AI is, and, like, we can, like, it's definitely scary just because it's so unknown, but we have the ability to, like, start to, like, create a positive, like,
and we could create, like, experiences that, like, nobody else has had before, like an amalgamation of, like, a bunch of human experiences all at once.
That's really dope.
That's great.
It'd be overwhelming.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you're doing with your podcast, too. Like, we're talking about this right now. You're going to post it to the algorithms, going to receive that. Other people are going to see it and spark ideas and inspirations. And, well, if no one else sees it, at least the computers will, so... Even just doing that, it's like those little small things that can
Yeah.
shift the whole fractal and can shift the whole code and make a whole completely different shape. You know, it's like that one little thing like we were talking about with the Mandelbrot and the Julia sets when you just like put it off by the smallest point.
Turn the negative to a positive.
The whole
Yeah.
shape completely shifts. So
Yeah.
that's like the same thing with like the butterfly effect or something. Going back into the future or in the past and doing one tiny thing and the whole. Everything's like thrown off.
Yeah.
So, like,
We
I
can
don't
do
know.
that now to our future.
I think it's like it's important to like be
Realize
intentional
that.
with art.
Yeah.
Like even if you don't have like a specific intention, just like being intentional.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, I get you. It's kind of like let it flow and kind of be unconscious with it, but not too unconscious.
Yeah,
That makes
exactly.
sense, yeah.
Like
And even like
maybe
why.
some of our older drawings.
But even like why you're creating, because like how you were saying, like you're creating just to like almost like create, like you're not creating to have this piece in the end. Just like what's the intention behind the
True
the creation,
exploration instead of
Mhm.
like
Right. Yeah.
Evolution.
Like curiosity.
or just like pleasure, or even
Yeah.
pain. I think
I'd
expression.
say that's still exploration though. You're still
Yeah.
like
expression
yeah.
is probably the best word that I could come up with, because we're all constantly doing that. Even when you like post some Instagram story or something, you're expressing yourself in like whatever way that you feel in the moment, and like I guess a lot of people want to capture that like a little fairy or something, but
I guess but like the idea with art is just to like let it go and put it out there. So. Yeah.
Let it flow. Yeah, I think that it's really cool though, that you're just doing this podcast.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like I've definitely learned a lot and talked to a bunch of super cool people that I wouldn't know because of it.
Yeah.
Like you.
exactly.
Yeah.
I have a weird question. You've ever met somebody like through art that you were like that you didn't quite like?
Through art.
I have an experience I
Through
want to
the
share, I
art
guess, with the
community?
class.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many weirdos in the art community.
Yeah. So
For
there,
sure.
I was
Different
live
brands
painting.
of weirdos.
I was live painting. We're gonna live paint tonight, and there is this guy, and he kind of does the same thing as me. He has like UV art, and he has these glasses called chroma depth that make it like 3D.
Yeah.
So he was like similar to me, and I'm like, yo, what do you think of my stuff? He's like, you have a long way to go. And then he asked me for Coke. I'm like, bro. I like looked up to this dude on Instagram and everything. I was like, oh, he has more followers than me, blah blah. I meet him in person, and it's like, I was dumb to think that. But yeah, you definitely meet a lot of good people, but you meet some people who will make some weird comments. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's definitely a weird part is like the pretentiousness in the art community.
Scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
God.
it's not all over the place, but it's definitely there in some parts. And it takes away from the artist and the art, and
Yeah, it makes you think about not the art, but like, now
Yeah.
you're thinking about a person, like now you're out of it, yeah.
A lot
Right.
of that's really discouraged me from doing art in Denver specifically, actually. And, like, I've just always been kind of a weirdo, and, like, I don't know, just, like, I feel like you have to be, like, have, like, clout or to, like, be, like, a people person to, like, I don't know, make it a lot of times
No,
in the art scene.
Yeah, something bad that I've realized is like marketing matters so much, and I've had this debate. I'm like, does marketing matter more than the execution or the technique or the beauty? And like, shit,
Yeah.
sometimes it seems like it does.
Honestly, yeah, like you have to be kind of a salesman. I'm definitely not. I've definitely had to struggle with that.
I think they
myself a
both
lot.
matter in the end. It's just like, how are people gonna like your stuff if they don't see it? Is what it comes down to.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
like
important.
sometimes the guy who's more loud and visible, even though he's like not as skilled, will be like put on display before the dude who's like been in his basement working his craft for like 8 years.
Oh, it's always been like that, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
every
Good
scene
point.
is like that too. It's just some weird fractal of society, that's a weird one. But it's like in everything.
And
like
I think
music
it's getting
scene.
better a little bit too, though. Like, I hope.
I think with
I see it
Instagram
getting
and
better.
stuff, like, that's helpful for a lot of people who aren't, like, the most, social, I guess.
I would say and recommend to you guys fucking TikTok, because Instagram limits your like people who see it by so much, and TikTok you can have like 1,000 people see it in a day.
No, man.
Yeah,
TikTok.
it's like dancing with the devil, like I said.
I just feel so awkward, like.
I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't showed my face yet in my TikToks. I'm afraid. I'm like, I know the algorithm likes this, but I'm not ready.
Yeah, but the algorithm is really just the people.
Yeah.
See your
The
face.
trends, like, yeah,
Face.
exactly.
Yeah, but I feel like most of that is like I feel like it's definitely changing, like you said, like with the big art, like the people who are selling their pieces for like hundreds of thousands up to like millions, like that's all based off of clout, because I think a lot of art buyers are in it for the investment, not for the art.
No, and at high level, it's about like tax fraud, pretty much. It's,
I mean, like with Banksy, like he would like he did this one thing where he gave all his pieces to this random old guy, and had him sell them on the streets for like $30-$60. And like barely, like I think he sold like 2 or 3 of them. Like people didn't buy them because they weren't Banksy pieces.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know this.
But then when they had the name attached to them, people bought them.
So it's weirdly about developing your own brand.
It is about the name. It's about it is about the brands. That's kind of like what our society is. Do you remember that one piece that Banksy did where he sold something at an auction and then it shredded it like immediately? That was so dope. Like that is, I think, the epitome of like
the art scene.
Well, no, it's even crazier because it was like valued for more after it was shredded.
Yeah, because it was now like news thing.
That's so dope, dude. Like that is ultimate genius, and like staying true to like just having integrity, like.
And like some element of non-permanence too.
It's like more than just. It's like a That's like a statement, you know.
Yeah, I think a majority of that comes from like outside of the art community, like the actual like. People like there's definitely artists who are all about the like consumerism and like building the brand and their name just to like make money, but I think,
as an artist, that's who you're not trying to reach that person. You don't really care about that person. You want like the dude who's really into it. Sorry to steal your point.
no, that's all good. But like I don't think most people who are like making art think they're gonna make a lot of money off of it.
I know a lot of us would like to.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us that we don't really start with that intention.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think if you carry on with it hardcore, you kind of like face the reality of like, unless I get really, really lucky, I'm probably like, I'll be lucky to make a good living off this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like the old starving artist trope, you know?
Yeah, I think it's hopefully getting better in that sense too. Just because,
it is. There's more opportunities these days. Like, if you really wanted to, you could go to school, you could fucking go do some graphic design shit, you know, you can sell out.
I feel like graphic design would be like, I don't know, personally, I don't want to do what somebody tells me to do. That's against my whole artistic philosophy right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I guess, the dream is to have people that want to buy the stuff you make. But then you have to buy stuff or make stuff that people want to buy.
And even then, like, even when you do it, now you're like, now I have to part with this thing that I actually developed an emotional bond with. You're like, fuck.
It's definitely an ebb and flow. Like, you can't be too stubborn and just, like, I mean, you can be if you don't want to ever sell anything.
I think, weirdly enough, it helps a little bit, because I'm just starting my online store now, and I'm getting sales, and, like, it's like, people, you can finally buy my art, and then, like, you know, they'll approach now. It's weird.
Yeah, but you're making stuff that people, like, are interested in, and that are, like, you know, with the times, and, like, you know, I hate the word trending, but, like...
How dare you.
But you know what I mean? Like, if you're just making, like, I don't know, just, like, super weird shit, that, like, that would be for yourself, you know? But, no, if no one wants to buy that, you know? Like, people, there has to be both sides, because people have to want to, like you said, buy it.
I feel like if you make something that you like, you know, and if, personally, I'm my own worst critic, so if I like it, then, like, somebody else has got to like it.
You never know.
I mean, with how many people are, there's got to be one person, but you got to find that person. That's
I think, like, tattooing is cool in that way, and you definitely have to, like, sell out a little bit and do what other people want.
Yeah.
But to get to that point where you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a good way to, it's a really cool way to monetize like a skill, like a drawing skill.
It's probably one of the better ways to make a living as an artist now, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty cool, and then the people will have that on them forever. I've definitely fucked up a couple tattoos before.
Have you ever done any cover-ups?
I'm actually doing a cover-up on my partner right now, and I won't say what it is, but yeah.
The before, what it was, or what it's gonna be? Tell us what it's gonna be.
Is some brain spiral fractal shit. I'm just covering it up. I did another cover-up on my friend. It was like an ex-boyfriend's name, and I just turned it into like a fractal rose kind of pattern thing, and it worked. It turned out good.
Can't be worse than the ex's name. Yeah.
That's kind of what, like, the gist of what I'm doing on my partner right now is, but...
You said you weren't going to tell.
I'm not. That's the gist, but... just for a little tea.
So are you doing a lot of tattoos for yourself? Like, are you doing tattoos...
Yes.
Are, like, other people, like, requesting stuff for you to do, or...
Yeah, a lot of my friends, I have a lot of tattoos on a lot of my friends mostly, nice. And then a lot of travelers I've done tattoos on, just like going to rainbow gatherings, and going to concerts. Like I used to go to a lot of Dead shows, and there's a lot of different concerts and festivals, and I've done a lot of tattoos at festivals. I definitely like to do a lot on myself. I have a lot of stick and pokes I've done.
Yeah.
I have these ones, this DNA strand. I have some ideas I'd like to do now, like that hand I showed you that was drawn in here, like some spirally, fractally stuff on my hand I'd like to do. I'm just moving right now. I'm moving into a house, like, tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, like, set up a whole studio. I've literally been living in a shed.
Oh my God.
On a farm with like no internet for like 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
So I have not really been able to do too much
Didn't have
tattooing.
room
I just
for
don't
activities.
have space. Like
Yeah.
I've just been. That's like the worst part of being on the road for me was not having space to do art. It hurt my soul.
Were you able to still do art?
Kind of, but not like how I want to.
Yeah,
like I need a desk.
Yeah.
I need somewhere where I can sit and spew out all my fucking paint and my paint markers and whatever, or have like a clean space to do tattoos, or have an outdoor space to do graffiti and spray paint art. And I just never really, you can't really do that when you're living in a fucking Walmart parking lot. in a tiny car with like 3 other people.
Did you tag a lot of Walmarts?
I've tagged a few Walmarts.
Hell yeah.
But I really like the last year of my travels. I really just went around, and I went to like abandoned spots all over the country, and just like discovered different graffiti styles and just like cool places and history. I don't know. I really love history. Art history. There's actually a really cool spot you guys should check out here in Colorado. It's called Gilpin. Have you heard of it?
No.
Dude, it's sick.
Is that like
It
the
is.
abandoned missile silo?
No,
not that.
It is an abandoned arsenic mining town. So it's a whole town that was abandoned. So there's like 20 houses. There's like this whole community center that some kids came and they turned it into a skate park. And there's just graffiti everywhere. And like people I've met in Texas know about it. Like graffiti artists I've met all over the country are like, dude, that's the spot.
It's called Gilpin.
The town is called Gilpin, and it is out near Minturn.
Okay.
That sounds epic.
Yeah, it's a really, and you have to like walk down this crazy mountain to get there, but you see all this white powder everywhere. That's the arsenic.
Oh, shit.
So the whole town got poisoned, and everyone had to evacuate. A bunch of people died, and it's sick as fuck though. If you like graffiti at all, if you like graffiti at all though, like people from all over the country have come there, and there's huge murals of just like like some of the best art I've ever fucking seen.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, and there's that cool skate park that
Yeah.
was like, it was either an old church or an old community center. I don't know. It was sick though, and it's right here. Some kid from Vermont actually took me there, and I was like, I've lived here my whole life, and I've never
snowboarding for some dude
like
from
what
Vermont.
the fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is like a big recommendation. Anyone who's into urbex or graffiti and who lives in Colorado and has nothing to do.
That sounds like my kind of place.
Oh, totally. The skate park, the graffiti. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, it's a whole abandoned town. There's all these old like dump trucks from like the 50s and stuff that people have spray painted on, and like there's a whole ass fucking town. It's
That's
some of the
crazy.
craziest shit I've ever seen.
Hell yeah. I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would highly recommend it. I've never been to the abandoned missile silo, but that sounds really cool, and I do want to go.
Same.
I haven't done a lot of urban exploring in Colorado, sadly, because there is so much.
Just across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've done a lot in Oregon, but I know there's a lot of abandoned mines out in Idaho Springs that are pretty cool if you just like go to the back of Idaho Springs and like go up on some of those back roads. If you have a nice off-roading vehicle, it makes it even better. But some of the coolest places I've found were in Vegas, outside of Vegas.
Yeah.
It's so fucking dope, dude. Vegas sucks, but like Vegas is the
The
coolest
outside of
fucking
Vegas.
place on the planet, dude. Yeah, there's like so many abandoned mines just like out in the middle of the desert. There's like this whole 40-mile, 50-mile stretch of tunnels that like go underneath the city, underneath Vegas.
Damn.
Like I think there was a Vice documentary about they're like the underground city.
Yeah, and there's people
Vegas,
living in
but
it. Yeah.
You can go down there if you have like a truck or something. You can go down there and there's just like stretches of tunnels for miles. New Orleans has like a million abandoned buildings. Pennsylvania actually has the most abandoned buildings in the
Yeah.
whole country.
I used to live in Maryland, so I'd go to Pennsylvania all the time.
Hell yeah!
That's
Did
some
you
cool
have
shit.
you ever been to Centralia,
No.
where they filmed Silent Hill?
Oh, yeah, no, I never went there.
Yeah, that's super. The East Coast is fucking awesome. I love the East Coast. Are you from?
From
Maryland?
Maryland, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was
That's
born
dope.
in Colorado Springs, but I moved to Maryland when I was like 4 and
Yeah.
grew up there.
You're basically from there.
Yeah, yeah.
When did you move back?
I moved back here like 3 years ago.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's been cool.
Any particular reason why you moved back?
Just for the mountains. Like after I was done school, I didn't really know what to do, so like I just started like finding random jobs that were be kind of cool. Like I wasn't gonna like get like an actual job, and I got a job out in the mountains as a snowboard instructor.
Nice.
So I did that for a couple seasons, and then I was like, I don't know, it's just cool out here, so I stayed. It's been cool.
Yeah, I do love Colorado for that
Yeah.
reason. It is
And
beautiful.
there's a cool art scene here too, for sure. Like I've met a lot of like super cool artists like Sam. Yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah, I'd like met Raina before I met you. It was
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's how I like saw your stuff at first. I was like, wait, what? Wait, I can be on this. I know her.
It's nice to see that the art scene here has chilled out a little bit since I left.
It's
like,
definitely gone
a
a
few
bit
years
more
ago,
local.
Yeah, what was it
a
like?
few years ago, it was just super fucking snobby, bro.
Really?
Like, I don't know. I felt like it was really snobby. Like, beyond like the little snobby bullshit that I'm sour about, like, there's hella cool artists. Like, when Spectra Art Space opened, and like Threda Gallery, and like there was a lot of really cool stuff happening, but it was all like, you're either really fucking in the fucking scene, like you're really
Or
up
you're
there
not,
like making
yeah.
albums for Tipper and shit, or you're
Yeah.
like trying to get in with those people and be cool, and like you know, I just felt like it was kind of snobby, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I was traveling and I was had a lot of different mindsets, but it seems like it's like a lot chiller now. I don't know.
No, it's definitely a lot easier to get into like the in group now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a lot more inroads than there was. It used to just kind of be like, these are the popular artists.
Right, like I always wanted to live paint, but like I never really like
Get ready.
talk to anybody. I know, I've live painted a few times, like since then, like at different festivals and stuff. But yeah, it's always just hard in Denver.
Have you ever live painted here, or just like concerts and other places?
Just at festivals and other places.
Okay.
I've never live painted in Denver, so that's exciting. I'm excited.
Yep.
Throw a little paint down.
Hell yeah. Live painting's always fun. You've been live painting a bunch, Sam?
Yeah, a lot. I do it every Tuesday. Like, that's my baseline, and then maybe I'll have like 1 or 2 events that week as well. So sometimes it'll be like 3 times a week. It'll get to the point sometimes where I'll just like leave my stuff in the car. Yeah, but I try to take it here because like it's bad if I leave it in the car for canvas.
Yeah. It starts getting all warped and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dope. It's sometimes weird. Like you see somebody over your shoulder and you need to like make yourself not look, because if you look at every person who's gonna look over your shoulder, you're not gonna be painting that much.
Gotta focus.
Yeah.
Discipline.
So it's weird to like kind of ignore people a little bit like that, but also like I love that. Like say like we're like in some class or whatever, and my favorite thing is everybody's engaged in something else and I'm off to the side, do like. I like that mentally, being like off to the side, but still a part of the group a little bit. Yeah.
And it gives you like an excuse to ignore people.
Yeah, for like an antisocial, and especially at like EDM shows is mainly what I paint at. How are you gonna talk to somebody when it's like?
Yeah, exactly. It's awkward.
It's
anyway.
like it's a good excuse to just vibe. Yeah.
It's good therapy too. Like I was telling someone the other day, I was like, yes, drawing has been my definitely like good for my anxiety or my nervous habit.
And that's another like maybe artist like job is art therapy. Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about a little bit.
Art therapy, you could do so much stuff with color therapy too, especially with neon colors, black light, like the frequencies that those give off.
And definitely when I like
how that
paint,
helps.
I'm definitely just like spreading, colors, blending them. That's kind of like what I do is I just blend colors while I'm up there. Yeah.
It's like a trance. It's a form of trance arts, which is like falls under the category of music and live performance, like just like hypnotism, I guess, in a way.
Like there's a lot of times where it's like I don't even know if I'm painting. Like I'm not like blending colors. I'm literally just like pushing paint around.
No, yeah. When you get to that point,
Uh-huh.
I haven't gotten to that point on. I think I said this last time, but like say if I'm like on my computer and I have my thing, I can't get to the point where I'm just like spreading pixels and I lose myself in it.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for me to do that with actual paint than like on a screen. Something about the screen.
What do you think that? You think it's the screen or like feeling like the paint?
It's probably like actually feeling and seeing the paint a little bit. When you fuck it up, you.
It's more of like a sensory experience, like with all your whole body,
Because I think like if I finger paint, it'll definitely happen then. Because like there's nothing that.
There's no choice but to get lost. Yeah.
That's the best. I haven't finger painted in a long time. It sounds fun.
I use my finger to blend all the time, but I try not to go too crazy with it. You can see by my pants I wipe it off.
Not too crazy.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I always get, whenever I go spray painting, my hands just get covered, especially if I'm doing stencil or something. It's really fun.
You're like a witch with black hands.
Yeah, I used to paint my hands a lot.
I remember like me and one of my friends when we first got into spray painting, we were just like so like unaware, and we would just use our hands as stencils and stuff.
Oh no!
Yeah.
It was not the best, but we didn't know it. We didn't really care.
We were having fun.
Now you're like, what are these adverse health effects I'm feeling? Just kidding, but kind of not.
Yeah.
No, I feel that. Like, me and my friend definitely used to recklessly not wear masks and stuff, and like more and more over the years, we're like, alright, maybe we should probably wear masks.
Yeah. We're getting older. Yeah.
Smoke a lot of cigarettes, gotta take care of yourself a little bit. Yeah, I'd love to see some of your graffiti stuff.
Oh yeah. I kind of got some pictures on my phone.
Heck yeah, that would be dope.
It's cool. There's so many like
Do you have,
sewerways
like, a
around
tag
here.
name?
No, I don't. I never got into like doing like text and stuff like that so much.
No, same. I don't
And
get the lettering as much because half the time you can't tell what it says.
It's a whole nother thing, dude. That's a whole nother fucking thing, and it's so fucking cool. I love it.
I think it's
I
amazing,
appreciate it. It looks pretty, but I can't fucking read it most
It's
of the time.
very difficult, dude. Like, my Russian cousin who lives in New York is a graffiti artist, and like, it's just so fucking sick, dude. I can't even explain it. It's just like, yeah, you can't read it at all, but it's just like so amazing to your eye. Yeah, I love stuff like this. I always love just doing street art. Oh my god. Is that in the sewer?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I love doing like creatures and stuff.
His mouth looks like a butthole.
Yeah. That was like some hole in the sewer.
Oh,
The mouth.
you worked that in?
Yeah,
Dope.
yeah.
I love seeing stuff like that, like integrative art.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that's so cool about street art is like where you do it, like the different like textures, like doing it on a brick wall or like pipes and like incorporating stuff.
Yeah, or like corrugated steel. Yeah.
I've always loved seeing that, like little pieces that people do that are like almost like an optical illusion piece, you know, where they just make it blend into the city.
Yeah.
That's like what I hope for the future. I just want the whole
graffiti everywhere.
Yeah, I just like wanted the whole world to be super colorful and awesome. Everywhere you turn, you're seeing something new and like, you know, like experiencing, and people are like being inspired constantly and to create and share and fucking not be so mundane all the time.
And like all that would take is just for them to stop covering it up, you know?
Oh my god. Yeah.
I know.
Pretty much.
Like that'll happen eventually. Like
yeah, I mean, like how long can it go on for? There's a really funny documentary on YouTube about this guy in LA who just does that. I think he thinks he's like a vigilante. But
he just paints over graffiti.
It's like his self-appointed, like, he's like, I'm Superman.
This is my duty.
You know, I'm saving the children.
This is my ninja way.
That's ridiculous. I mean, the people expect for it to get covered up.
Right?
Like, it's not like you're like, oh, shocker.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the point of it, though. Like, that's some of the, like, the point with, like, at least with tagging and, like, just having a name, and like what I noticed a lot of people do in other cities, like I went tagging with this dude in Houston who's like a pretty big tagger who does like the top of highways and stuff. That's like part of the game. You like want to find a spot
nobody can get to,
that's gonna be there the longest, that's the biggest, that everybody see it. So like a highway spot, like above the highway on a highway sign, that's like you get all the points.
Yeah.
You know, like something at a skate park, that's like not that many points, you know, but like, so like top of a building in New York or something, or I seen a video of these dudes in Russia in the middle of the day on some crazy busy street in the middle of the city, like tagging this huge fucking building, and it was just like, dude, and yeah, that's like all the points right there.
Points. In daylight, hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In daylight, everything, and then everyone will see your name. No one else can get to it. That's gonna be there for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And then you go back there in like 10 years, and you're like,
Just making that as hard as it can to be covered up.
Yeah, I don't really do that too much. I like to go like exploring abandoned stuff and have like time to be able to like do a piece.
Yeah, not rush it, not be looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, that's a whole other part of the skill too, though. Being able to do something sick and badass like that in like 5 minutes, you know.
Yep.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes the stencils cool for sure.
Yeah, I love the stencils. I haven't really done too much with like bigger stencils, but that's definitely in my line of sight.
That would be cool.
Doing some like really huge fractal stencils. I like really intricate, like, I don't know, maybe it's just something with my brain, and I just really like spending like 20 hours doing like tiny little intricate fucking details, and that's harder to do with graffiti, so I need to like step out of that and like think bigger and like less.
No, that's what I'd say with painting definitely did something for me, because when I'd like draw, I'd always go down to like the tiniest detail and maybe not even finish the piece. But when you're painting, you can't really, you know, get in there like that.
Yeah, you should try out some spray paint sometime.
I want to
It's
get
pretty sweet.
paint with gun so I can do it with my acrylics.
Like an airbrush?
Yeah, airbrush. Yeah, it's
Airbrush
like
is
$500
tight,
for a good one, but
I
I'm like,
want one too.
I might do it.
I want one too. You should. Well, you're selling paintings now, and like you can expand different art forms.
And I could maybe write it off on my
You never
taxes.
know.
If I could do that, I'll do it.
How would you do that? Let me know.
Just business expense. Just write it off as a business expense.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, shit. Maybe I want to get like a Me and my partner want to get a 3D printer or like a laser cutter to
Either,
stencils.
build it or subtract it.
Yeah. We're thinking about doing some new stuff with like lighting and blacklights and like woodworking, and like I can make like wood cuttings like for my stencils, but in wood, and then like put lights on them, make shadow boxes. And
Gotcha, and like maybe paint it.
Stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Last question. So I'm wondering, what does art mean to you?
Art is life, baby. I don't know what else to say.
Hell yeah.
Art is life. It's everything. It's expression. It's your soul. It's like whatever you want it to be. Really, what everyone. It's the amalgamation of what everyone has ever wanted art to be.
Thanks for listening. Share this with your friends if you liked it. And don't forget to be cool. Peace out.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Andreas Talks Art. Don't forget to leave me a review. It helps me improve the show. And if you got anything out of this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you shared it with one of your friends. Till next time, we out.